I was going to get you some, hey, Jesus, I was going to get you some drone footage today, because it is absolutely spectacular. But for those of you who follow me on Instagram, links below, you'll understand why that's not a possibility. I'm going to run you some footage. Ooh, hit the drink. I did have hope. I've got the drone with me. It doesn't work, but I had hope, because if we just roll the footage back a bit, that dude there, just totally random stranger sitting in some bushes. I'm hoping a bit of meditation, contemplation over the lock, and he's not kind of wanking into it. But anyway, shortly after I nearly beheaded him, the drone hits the reeds, falls into the drink, and he grabs it, pulls it out, gives it back to me. It wasn't totally submerged, so I had hopes for it, but it's going to the drone doctor. Professional cameraman said, when you invest in a drone, only invest what you're prepared to lose. So last year's New Year's resolution was to not work with narcissists, which I humbly recommend, although you will take a drop in your earnings. I would have enjoyed that year more had not all of our doors been darkened by Commander in Cluster B himself, Donald Trump, the most malignant narcissist I have ever seen. I don't want to politicise this channel, but I do have one observation, and that is I think he's going to get what he wants. And what he wants is the greatest viewing figures of all time. And how's he going to do that? Trump treason trial. It's going to make the viewing figures for the O.J. Simpson trial look like, I don't know, a rerun of Cagney and Lacey. I digress. This year's New Year's resolution is to take it out of the box. I'm not a fan of computerized music, even though I kind of make it and have been making it solidly for 20 years. But in this day and age, it's very difficult not to make music in the box. So what I've done is last year, you may have noticed, I invested in a proper grown-up piano, biggest investment I've ever made, although I did get it at a fraction of a price because it was actually second-hand, although it had never been played. One of the advantages of living or working in London, when you get oligarchs doing a yard sale, you really can pick up a bargain. Anyway, still a massive investment for me, but I still needed just a couple more bits of kit to make this New Year's resolution a reality. So it's time for another unboxing. Right, so this may look like a toy, but it's far from it. The minute I saw that it was a 3-track recorder, it just struck me that they're thinking about this. So basically you have your stereo accompaniment, like your piano, and then you can have your lead singer or whatever. And the whole thinking behind having this here is noodling. I think we all understand the importance of a good noodle. You'll do something that will have some magic, you'll put it into your track as a demo, the director will completely fall in love with it, and you'll never be able to get rid of it. Currently I've got it powered by batteries, but you can power from USB-C into a wall charger, or indeed into your computer with that Y-shaped USB. The standard USB won't provide enough power for this, so it needs 2 outlets from your computer. And records to SD, and because you can get, I think, up to 500 gigabytes on these now, it doesn't need to be a particularly fast card, because there's only 3 tracks of digital. I think works out in my head is you could just set it into record for about 7 hours. Don't think the batteries will last for that long though. Lots of touchscreen action. You can record up to 96K, and it's got these brilliant different presets, so you can have different gain settings and just recall those, so piano and vocals, or just piano noodling, or so that's just going to kind of sit there as part of its kind of permanent home. So onto the microphones. The whole purpose of this exercise is to have a permanent setup. I can obviously go to the studio and set up my computer, set up the mics, but by that point the buzz is completely gone. So I want a permanent setup in my home. Just can literally go on, record, and it's set. So I've gone for the DPA mics. I heard a rumor that a very, very big film composer uses these, so if they're good enough for him, they're good enough for me. What's great about them is they're compact, so it doesn't destroy the aesthetic of the living room that we're in, but also they're kind of purpose-built for pianos. They have these little rubberized stands which have magnets, and you can just move them around nice and easy. Now, my initial temptation was to kind of put them here, pointing towards the keys, so I could really capture that intimate sound of the felt hitting the string and all of that kind of stuff. So this is position 1. See what you think of this. Now for me, I get a better intimate sound out of my upright shimmel, so if I'm going for that, I'll record that. This actually sounds totally synthetic, so I think it's more about capturing the soundboard, which is this bit of wood underneath here. So my second position was to get, again, grabbing a real spread of the keyboard, nice stereo image. So this is position number 2. See what you think of this. And then I thought I'd experiment with just moving this mic here above the higher end of the strings, and you wouldn't believe the difference in sound between here and here. See what you think. Almost a kind of crystalline sound, not something that I particularly like. So this is now my preferred setup. I thought I'd also have an experiment of maybe moving a mic around here. Let's see what that sounds like. I'd like to know what your favourite is, and I'm not very good at hearing things like phasing and stuff. Do you have an opinion on whether my mics are correctly positioned for phasing and all of that kind of stuff? So this next segment is a debut for me scoring something to picture out of the box. It's Christian, yeah. Going to the airport, please. Bye-bye. Today I'm doing something a little bit mental. Thank you. Cheers, Andrew, sir. Thank you. Today I'm on a pilgrimage to something that is 150 odd years old, 250 miles long. That's roughly halfway from here, Edinburgh, to London. 1.4 billion people go on it a year. That's roughly 5 million people a day. It's the central nervous system of our capital, and for many Londoners informs our aesthetic sensibilities. If you were to ask me, I'm in London for an afternoon and I want to visit one art gallery, I wouldn't recommend Tate Modern or Tate Britain, wouldn't recommend the National Gallery or the National Portrait Gallery. I'd recommend the London Transport Museum. I am, of course, talking about the Tube, the Underground. I'm on a bit of a treasure hunt. There she is, or he is. There's Henry. Here endeth my pilgrimage. I know, sentimental twaddle, but for me a profound moment to really think differently about creating a performance that works to picture as opposed to creating a sequence. I'm not endorsed by any of these people, but I put some links below if you want to find out more about DPA or indeed Sound Devices, who make some really lovely looking stuff from what I've seen so far. Thanks as always for your support. If you like what I do, hit like, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.